Hello, English 10 student, and welcome to today's little video about outlining for our research paper. All right, guys, so let me just kind of go over some things. We have about a week to work on organizing the information we found in our research and turning it into an outline. This is really one of the most crucial parts of our research paper project, and it's going to really go a long way to helping making the drafting and the writing process a lot easier if we work hard and do a good job of organizing our information now. Okay, so let's go over this. Let's do it. And then, as always, if you guys have any questions, it'd probably be a lot easier for me to help you if you let me know what's going on. This is going to be pretty vague, and I'm happy to help. Okay, so here we go. So I'm in my modules on Canvas. I'm going to scroll down to research paper outline. All right. I go there. I got the information. It's going to be due May 4th at midnight, essentially. So I have a week from today, Monday, April 27th, to complete this. Okay. All right. So here's my outline document here. This is a basic outline. And you guys can feel free to alter this in any way that you want to help you be successful. This is just to give you the basic idea of a good way to organize your paper. Okay, but let's read what it says at first. All right. It says, look at the research I've gathered for my paper, and then now stop and brainstorm. Okay, so from my research, I want to think of all the potential topics that I could be talking about. How could I break this down into different chunks? This might be very simple for you, and it might be following the exact same idea that you hypothesized that you might organize it way back when you did the research project proposal. But you might also find that based on what you came up with in your research, you have to alter it. Okay? There might be some topics or ideas that you were unable to find in your research, or you might find that you were captivated and highly interested in other parts of your topic that you didn't even know you were going to find about. Okay? Now, this is still just a rough draft. We're still just brainstorming. We're coming up with our outlines. You can always change this as you go, but now would be a good time to pause and look at your notes. So for me, I have my example here. I'm going to go through all of my notes, and I can be looking at these key points and see if there's any common areas that I can group them. Okay? All right, now it says to begin to organize, and then the way that I group them together, these could most likely become successful body paragraphs. Okay? Remember, for your research paper, you can have multiple different categories. Okay? All right. Anyway, now I begin working on the outline. All right? You guys can kind of follow this guide. You would make, well, at first I should have had you make a copy. This is my document, so I'm able to edit it. Let's make a copy. Here we go. Boop. All right. Now I'm in here, and I'm on my copy. Okay. And now I'm able to fill this in as I go. Okay, so name, I can type that. My name is here. Class period, what hour do you have English 10? I'm going to say I'm in 7th hour. 7th hour, shout out. Woo woo. Okay, title of the paper. You can work on this now, or you can wait till later to come up with this. It's not the most important thing. You might want to just put your topic in there. Okay. Okay, now, so let's just kind of go through all the key ingredients here. We're going to have an introduction. And then these A, B, and C, these are all the necessary ingredients for my introduction. Okay? Then I have body section 1, body section 2, body section 3. And that's all I put on the example outline. You might find that you want to have more sections in your paper. Okay? Now, if that's you, you can just, copy and paste and add more of that. Okay? Then conclusion. Like it says here, add more body section as needed. All right. Then our conclusion, same thing. We have the recipes here. You'll notice the conclusion is kind of a mirror of the introduction, where we have a thesis, bridge, and then creative ending, our clincher. For our beginning, we have an intention getter, then a bridge toward our thesis, which is our main claim that we are going to be proving and supporting with our evidence from our research. Okay? So, body paragraphs. You'll notice that each body paragraph has the same formula, a topic sentence that supports the thesis. Okay? So, now this part is something that is important. You need to remember that all of your body paragraphs should be reflecting on your thesis, okay? Your main claim. How does this topic, how does this idea, how is it supported throughout your whole paper, okay? All right, so then after you have your topic sentence, you need evidence or details. This could be your quotes or your paraphrases from your notes. And then for each piece of information you give, you should give some sort of your thoughts, some sort of your explanation, okay? Some sort of analysis as to how that detail supports your topic sentence, which supports your thesis, okay? And then it goes on and on, okay? Now it says here on the red box, most outlines should be phrases and fragments. Do not write it out completely. Okay, so for the outline, which is due next week, Monday, this can really be bullet points. This can be not fully fleshed out, and you can leave that part for when you're doing your rough draft. Now, some people prefer to write out complete sentences. You won't be downgraded for that at all. That might make you have less work to do when you turn this into a rough draft. However, writing in full sentences and having transitions, that is not a crucial part of the outline. That is something that you'll be able to add in when you're doing a rough draft, okay? Now, some parts I write as a full sentence, just because that might be helpful for you. If you're not quite sure exactly how to do that yet, that is okay. That's just a suggestion, okay? All right. Let's see here. What else? Okay, so this is all kind of an bare bones outline, okay? So let me kind of show you an example here, okay? I'm going to close this out. All right, so for my example research, I was interested in looking at the new rules of golf that were implemented last year. As you may or may not know, if you're a golfer, a lot of rules were changed last year. And the idea was that these rules would help make a round of golf go quicker. Okay, so my research here, which is my example copy, is just looking at that idea. Did the rules improve the pace of play as they suggested they would? So as you can see, my notes might look a lot like yours. I have my MLA citations up top, and then I have my facts and details here. Okay, so I have key points over here, and then I have detailed notes. So if I'm trying to turn this into an outline, I would be looking at my key points and trying to figure out how I'm going to organize it. Which easy ways could I group them together? Okay. As you can see, I put on my notes if something was a quote or not. If it's not in quotes, then it was a paraphrase. Okay, now how can I turn this into my outline? Okay, so I determined that the rules do not slow down the pace of play, or I guess it would have been easier to say they do improve the pace of play. So that's going to be my claim. That's going to be what I'm going to be arguing throughout my paper. Okay, and the first body section is that basically saying one way that the new rules make the pace of play faster for the casual golfer is that the golfer is now allowed to leave the flagstick in. Okay, so now that I know that, I've organized it as such, I am going to be giving evidence. I'm going to have my facts and my details and my quotes about this topic in this first chunk. Okay, so I put in here a quote about how, from the rule book, about how a golfer is no longer penalized if they hit the flag stick when the flag is left in the hole. Okay. Then a very brief explanation. Okay. This means that the golfers can now putt with the flag stick in the hole in the cup without a penalty. Okay. Then I would go on to my next piece of evidence, and then my next explanation. You can see here that for this one, I wrote out a few sentences. I got 3 sentences there, kind of helping explain this idea. All right. Then I have another piece of evidence. Now, for this, remember, this outline is very malleable. You can change it as needed. If you only had 2 pieces of evidence for a body section, that would be okay. If you end up needing to include a lot more, that's okay too. You can kind of alter it by adding or deleting as you need, okay? Then at the very end of the body section, whenever that is, you want to figure out how you're going to close up that sentence. Overall, being allowed to leave the flag stick in the hole will speed up play under the right circumstances. Okay? So, kind of reiterating what you set up here in your topic sentence. All right? Okay, and then I move on to my next body paragraph. The other major rule change that will speed up pace of play is that you're only allowed to look for your ball for 3 minutes. In the past, you were able to look for it for 5 minutes. So, one thing to notice here is that when I am including quotes, in my outline, I am including quotes, okay? The quotation marks will tell me that I need to cite it, okay? The parentheses citation here. It's really clutch if you are smart enough and you are making sure that you are citing your information in your outline. That means that when you turn it into your rough draft, you don't need to go back to your notes, okay? Unless you thought of something from your notes that you wanted to add. Once I get all of the information from my notes, when I put a detail or a fact into my outline, I want to be tagging it in parentheses with the MLA citation, okay? Now it's up to you. You could kind of just copy and paste this whole thing right now, or you could shorten it into the way that you would cite it in parentheses in the paper right now. And then that's one less thing to do later. So remember, the basic way to do that is in parentheses, you put the last name of the author, then a space, and then the page number. And then parentheses, and then a period would go at the end. Okay, so information, quotes, and then let's say this was done by someone whose last name was Andrews, and I found it on page 4, period. Okay, if I have my quote here, let's say there is no page number. I found it on a website. There is no page number. There is really no paragraph. I could just do that. Last name. That will still indicate which source I found it from. And if there is no last name, then it would be title, then page number. Okay, so as you could see, basically what you do is, like on this article, there was no author, so I would begin with the title, okay? On this, there are last names, so I'd start with the last name that comes first, okay? All right, I will provide more information about how to cite and how to do all the quoting successfully later. Remember, this is an outline. This is still kind of a rough draft. It's okay if it's not perfect yet. So you won't be downgraded if your quoting and your citing isn't totally perfect. But what you do want to make sure is that you know where you found the information from. So make sure you indicate that in some way in your outline to make it easier for you. Okay? So anyway, that's just a really quick overview of this outlining process. If anyone needs help, I'm happy to help. Just reach out to me, and I want to make this as easy and successful for you as possible. So that's why I'm giving you a lot of work time. So please use it wisely and let me know how I can help. How can I make this better for you if you need it? Okay, thanks, and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.